Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Cartoonz. It is currently 6:20 or something in the morning, and I am not sleeping again for the 1000th time, but that doesn't really matter because today we're going to be doing some Mage Rogue 2v2 commentary. You guys really like it whenever I do live commentary on my live streams and whenever I'm commentating over what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So I figured I would go ahead and take a second to try it out in a video and see what you guys think as well. I'm commentating over Mage Rogue because Mage Rogue is my favorite 2's comp to play. I love playing Mage Rogue. It's super, super fun. And the reason why it's so fun to me anyways is because, in my opinion, it's the most fast-paced 2's comp that there is. You have to be on the exact level with your teammate that he expects you to be, and you have to know everything that they're thinking while they're thinking it to be able to play perfectly and make the split-second decisions, because it's all about killing in windows. You don't actually kill, you don't have these sustained damage like Affliction Locks do or, Boomkins do. You have to kill them within like 3 or 4 seconds, which is a really cool thing to do in my opinion, and it takes a lot of synergy. So with that being said, I actually don't play with Skype. I don't talk to Mage whenever we play because we like to just play at a level where we just want to know what each other are thinking, as opposed to saying what we're doing and then trying to collaborate through Skype. That's how we play. A lot of people disagree with that, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. And to jump off with that, to kind of express what it is like to play Mage Rogue, I'm actually going to be showing you a loss in this first video on Tiger's Peak. And this is a loss because we have a little bit of discommunication. This is our first game of the day playing together. And we just we weren't really sure what exactly we were doing in the opener. So let's go ahead and jump into this clip right here. As you can see, I'm shrouded right now with an ice barrier sitting on my mount, and we're fighting a combat rogue and a feral druid. All right, so combat rogue and feral druid are pretty much, they're gonna try and kill Mage. That's the plan. They're never gonna really kill me because combat rogue can't kill me. Feral druids can, however, and that's what we think going into this. I think our plan is basically to start on the feral and then switch onto the rogue, but we have a little bit of miscommunication in the opener. But as you can see here, I'm checking my ice barrier, trying to get my ice barrier and then get back on my mount before I can get sapped right there. So if I would have been sapped off of my mount, they would have just opened on me right there, but now the enemy team's a little bit more hesitant because I'm on my mount, which means I can kite away a little bit better. And so I'm getting sapped as I run this way, so I just imagine them running to the left here over towards that platform, so I just keep running towards the platform, trying to run into them, and now I'm on triple sap DR. And then they have to open on me, otherwise I would be able to just run into them, and I'm going to blink away right here. So this is where we make the mistake. Mage blinds the rogue, and I Ring of Frost on both of them here, and we don't just immediately open on the feral. We have like that few seconds of gap time there, and Mage has to go back and cheap shot the rogue, thinking we're going to switch to the rogue because the rogue didn't shrink at the blind earlier. And then the feral druid gets some really lucky damage on me. He crits absolutely everything, and I didn't expect that. I was trying to pretty much just one-shot the rogue, but it ended up in me having to cold snap and waste one whole block, which is a really big misplay when it comes to playing Mage Rogue. So we made a few mistakes here, and then eventually this is going to lead up into our loss, where the rogue is killing Mage with that killing spree, as you can see. And then, I'm trying to kite the feral. The feral's eventually just going to either kill me or Mage dies to the rogue. These guys obviously didn't have a huge amount of synergy, but since our mistakes happening right there, all the feral druid had to do was switch over to the rogue, and then they take the game. So, but other than that, we're going to go ahead and jump into a second game on Blade's Edge versus a Holy Paladin Ephixa-Ideekay, and this game is a little bit faster. We're playing a little bit better. As you can see, we run straight at the Paladin. Our goal is to kill the Paladin, force him to bubble in the opener, then switch off to him again when the diminishing returns reset. As you can see, there is a sap over on the Ephixa-Ideekay. I'm going to go ahead and Nova him in place afterwards. There's a kidney on this Paladin. I'm using my damage, but not AoEing a whole ton because I didn't want the Ephixa-Ideekay to get out of that Frost Nova. So as you can see, I juked Mind Freeze right there, and then I just run away from the Ephixa-Ideekay because it's really not a big deal. I Ice Nova'd on that Priz Crystal, but he actually just lagged a little bit, which moved him out of the Priz Crystal, which I could have probably stopped that a little bit better. So the Paladin pops Aura Mastery, and he gets cheap shotted immediately from Mage. He trinkets the cheap shot into a Deep Freeze to disrupt him since I couldn't CS him while he has Aura Mastery. I catch up to this Paladin, get another Shatter combo off, and there's a bop. I instantly spell steal it in under a second, and then I get strangulated. Gonna go ahead and block that off to try and get this kill. He's really, really low. And I really don't have any damage at this point. All I can do is hopefully interrupt him. He jukes my cast right there into a full kidney though, so it doesn't really matter. I get Mind Frozen, and then I cast a Frost Fireball immediately, which lands the kill. And again, playing against this team specifically, it's very important to understand that Paladins, yes, they have Aura Mastery, and yes, they have Bubble, and you have to work around that, but, like, as you could see, when he had Aura Mastery, he got cheap shotted immediately on the Aura Mastery, and then he trinketed and started casting because I couldn't counterspell him, but I went ahead and just deep freezed him just to stop that cast. And then after that, Mage was able to stop his cast again with a gouge, and we were fine. We were ready to go. But again, guys, let's jump into this third match. We're fighting a Feral Druid combat rogue from earlier, and as you can see, we're going to play this a lot better. So I'm really excited to show you this. So I'm sitting in this shroud, and then I actually decide that I want to invis here because we're in a really closed area, and I'm not sure if they're really nearby. So I invis just to give Mage a little bit more time to find the Feral Druid rogue, which I actually don't know if we do. Because these guys are smart, they're not going to just run up because they know that I'm in invis. They can't find me in invis, so they're just going to go chill in a corner, wait for me to come out of invis. It's only a temporary amount of time. So I decide that I want to play on the bottom here because I think kiting a Feral Druid's a lot easier on the bottom side, and I get sapped immediately, which is pretty good. I mean, I think I'm in a pretty good position here. Sitting on my mount with an ice barrier, there's really not a whole lot else to do. I'm sitting on the sap DR, which is cool. I'm going to go ahead and control this rogue a little bit, or actually no, I think I'm just going to do a ton of damage instead, because there's this rogue over here and he just cloaked, which I kind of just have to wait. I'm going to use Priz Crystal while the rogue is kind of gone, and then I use double Ice Nova, which gets the Feral really low. Slow this guy, he's sitting in this blind, and I really want to control this rogue just for a little bit, because I trust Mage to be able to get that full CC or get that full damage off onto the Feral Druid up here. As you can see, he's really low, he pops wall a little bit late, I Ice Lance him to kill. However, Mage tries to pull a fancy play, but Killing Spree outplays him because Killing Spree is awesome. And Mage goes down, so this basically leaves me in a 1v1 against a combat rogue, and mages aren't favored against combat rogues. We're usually supposed to lose because Killing Spree is pretty much a gap closer. There's nothing we can do to kite him. But using Deep Freeze and Ring of Frost, because, combat rogues also have an ability called Feint, and Feint pretty much makes Ice Nova useless, and without Ice Nova, we don't have damage as Frost mages. So I have to play around Feint, and it's kind of a really hard thing to do, and I started failing a little bit in the beginning, but in the end, I actually did it pretty well. So as you can see, this rogue is basically just getting a bunch of uptime. I'm trying to slow him. He has AR right here, Adrenaline Rush, which gives him a ton of energy, and he Cloak of Shadows. I blink away because he has Burst of Speed, not Shadow Step, so I can do that. I deep freeze him, and then he doesn't have a trinket, so I can just put him in a full polymorph, wasting his full Adrenaline Rush. And you see that green buff on his bar right there, Shallow Insight, that's his damage increase. So if I let that run out, then he can't do damage. He can't build up to his red buff, which is where he would kill me. So as you can see, he doesn't have Feint up, and I recognize that, so I Priz Crystal, Ice Nova, and I get one Ice Nova off without him having Feint up, which is pretty worth it in my opinion. So he just wants to run right now. I'm kind of just trying to keep him from stealthing. I Blazing Speed at him and then Nova away. I'm going to go ahead and Frostbolt here. I probably should Deep Freeze. I just want to get as many cast off as I can. Probably an Ice Lance into like a Deep Freeze, yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and Ring of Frost. He doesn't have Feint here, and I recognize that, so I'm waiting for my Ice Nova to chill, or to come back off of cooldown, and I get this little bit of an eat off. And then I go ahead and use my Shatter combo into him a little bit. He gets a Vanish off right there. And then, I'm pretty much just kiting at this point. It's a little bit, in my favor. He Cloak of Shadows here, so I might have to block if necessary, but I could just go ahead and, go offensive since he's lower health than me. He vanishes again. I think he actually got a re-stealth earlier. I don't think he got a vanish. I'm sapped, which is fine. I tried to walk towards that eye, but in case he walked the other way, maybe I could get the eye, but it's not a huge deal. I can go ahead and blink this 8-second kidney, and my Fingers of Frost actually runs out right there, which is super unlucky, because if that Fingers of Frost proc lasted like a second longer, I could have gotten another defreeze, which would have forced his trinket immediately. So I saw him on the other side of the map, so basically what that means is I can just sit there and eat. I outplay him a little bit here, kind of time his, his steps, and then I Frost Nova him out of stealth there, which basically ruins his ult opener. And this is what I mean about playing behind Feint. So he had Feint, so I deep freezed him, and then put a Ring of Frost around him, waiting for Feint, and then I start casting a Priz Crystal, Ice Nova, which does a lot of damage, another Priz Crystal, and actually messed up that Frostfire Bolt when he runs away. I should have hit him, not the Priz Crystal. But now he's super low because I played around Feint. And I got him in that Deep Freeze, Ring of Frost into Priz Crystal, which is really, really good. And now I can pretty much just Blizzard here, and hopefully I can get him back, because Burst of Speed Rogues are really good at running away. But he plays a little bit too offensive here, or he gives up, one of the two. He just Cloak of Shadows with a little bit of health left. And then he actually misses that re-stealth right there, and I play around Feint again, getting the kill right there with an Ice Nova after his Feint. And it's really odd for me to win that match. You know, not many combat rogues should ever really lose to mages, frost mages. In my opinion, I think combat beats it. But otherwise, those are the 3 matches that I wanted to show you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this type of video, I might do it on some threes commentary as well. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a thumbs up to let me know that you did enjoy it. And otherwise, guys, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you all next time. Cartoonz out.